took the job because the ad promised it would be quiet. Night watchman needed, competitive pay, very rewarding, must be detail-oriented. Competitive meant the pay wasn't bad and I needed something simple. My last job had ended badly. Security cameras caught me walking out with stuff that wasn't enough to make me rich when I sold it online, but was enough to make sure I'd never be welcome back. After that mess, I wanted a place where no one asked too many questions and I could disappear into the hours when the world was asleep. The site was an old municipal building, decommissioned years ago. It was ornate as hell for something that used to be a courthouse. Gargoyles, iron railings, stained glass windows that looked like they belonged in a cathedral instead of a judge's chambers. I was told it was under heritage restoration, which basically meant that no one really wanted to tear it down, but no one had the money to fix it either, so they just left it as is and stuck a guy like me in there overnight to keep the place from being trashed by teens or squatters. During my orientation, if you can call 30 minutes with a sweaty fat guy in a straining security uniform with a name tag Kurt in orientation, I was handed a single sheet of rules. They were typed in Comic Sans of all things, which made me want to laugh. They were also weirdly specific. Well, the job description did stipulate being detail-oriented, and Kurt was really insistent I follow all the rules to the letter. I figured he must be autistic or something, so I didn't question it. He was my boss, and I needed a paycheck, so I just nodded and stuffed the list in my jacket pocket, promising Kurt I'd read them thoroughly before I started my shift. You wanna know how fucking weird they were? Here you go. Night watch instructions. Follow these to the letter. Deviations will not be tolerated. 1. Enter through the back door only. If it sticks, do not force it. Wait exactly 32 seconds and try again. If it's still stuck, leave immediately and report the time and date to Kurt. 2. Clock in at 11:11 p.m. precisely, not earlier, not later. If you miss the minute, stay in your car until 4:04 a.m. Do not fall asleep. 3. Wear the brown uniform provided. It will be in your assigned locker when you arrive and will be clean for each shift. Do not wear the blue one, even if it fits better. The blue one is not for you. 4. When walking past the third floor portraits, walk backwards. Do not look at the portrait of the man with the trumpet. If you hear music, keep walking and do not look behind you. 5. Feed the dumbwaiter. At 2:22 a.m. exactly, place 3 mint humbug candies in a chicken bone inside. It does not matter what bone you use as long as it's from a chicken. There should be bones ready for you in your locker along with your uniform each shift. 6. Do not touch the gavel in the courtroom. It's not real, it never was. Pretending it is will invite attention. 7. If you pass the mirror on the second floor and see yourself blink out of sync, wave once with your left hand in greeting. Don't smile, don't stop. 8. The janitor is not the janitor. Do not follow him, do not let him follow you. If he tries, hide in the nearest room and note the date and time in writing. Leave this information in your locker for Kurt to collect. 9. There is no 13th floor. If you find stairs that go higher than the 12th, close your eyes and hum until you have walked back down to the lobby. 10. Do not bring outside snacks, especially not Funyuns. It remembers Funyuns. Really weird, right? To be honest, I thought maybe Kurt was fucking with me to see how obedient I was, and after I proved I was a good little worker who wouldn't break the rules, he'd ease off. Tell me it was all a prank and let me do my job like a normal person. So I followed them. For 3 nights, I did everything by the book. I wore the itchy brown uniform that felt like it had straw stitched into the lining. I walked backwards past those stupid, dusty portraits. I dropped mint humbugs and a chicken bone down the dumbwaiter like a lunatic. But last night I forgot. It was so small and stupid. I was tired, okay? My ex had called to ream me out for something her drunken brain had decided I was responsible for, even though we broke up a year ago. I hadn't slept properly. By the time I started my rounds, I was on autopilot, just shuffling through the building, yawning into my sleeve, trying not to think about her stupid voice telling me that all the things that ever went wrong in my life were my own fault. Maybe she was onto something. I hit the 3rd floor without even realizing it. Normally I'd stop, turn around, and take the few steps backwards past the portraits like the rules said, but this time I just forgot, okay? It's not something you naturally do if you're not paying attention. So instead, I just kept walking normally. Halfway down the hall, I remembered. I turned, ready to correct myself, but I had already gone too far. The worst I thought was that Kurt would see me on the security cameras the next morning and join my ex in reaming me out for being a screw-up who can't follow rules. The portraits were wrong. It wasn't anything obvious at first. Same dust-coated frames, the same cracked paint, the same ugly old white dudes. But the figures in them were hunched and twisted, like themselves, but funhouse mirror versions. The man with the trumpet wasn't facing forward anymore. His body was still painted in profile, but his head was turned, chin tilted down. Though the brushstrokes were static, I swear his eyes followed me. I told myself it was a combo of the light and my own exhaustion, but as I backed away, I could have sworn his painted fingers twitched on the trumpet's valves like he was about to play. I was so freaked out that I didn't finish the rest of my rounds that night. I stayed in the lobby until my shift ended, pretending to check the security feeds while avoiding looking at the one camera that covered the third floor hallway. At 6 a.m., I was more than ready to clock out. My locker stuck a little when I tried to open it to put the itchy brown uniform back, and when I finally got it open, I paused. The blue uniform that usually hung in there was gone. Wear the brown uniform provided. It will be in your assigned locker when you arrive and will be clean for each shift. Do not wear the blue one, even if it fits better. The blue one is not for you. When I got home, I tried to forget it. I didn't even eat anything like I usually would. I just went straight to bed. I must have fallen asleep instantly because the next thing I knew, I was waking up in the dark. My bedroom felt too cold, like someone had left the window open on the coldest night in January, even though it was fucking August in a heat wave. When I got up to shut the window, I found the latch was still locked tight. I got back into bed and froze. The shape in the corner didn't move. It just stood there, tall and stiff, like a mannequin someone had dressed for inspection. It was wearing the blue uniform from my locker. At first, I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me, but then I saw the chest rise and fall. Whoever, or whatever, was inside that uniform was breathing. The cap was pulled low over its face, shadowing the eyes, but I didn't need to see them to know it was looking at me. I pulled the covers up to my chin like a kid, heart thudding hard enough that I could hear it in my ears. I wanted to move, to grab my phone, to do something. But my body felt pinned in place by the cold radiating from that thing in the corner. It didn't walk towards me. It didn't need to. The air between us seemed to stretch and thin until I could hear something whiffling, like paper, pages turning. It had my crumpled copy of the rules in one gnarled hand. I remembered then all the things I'd skipped after the portraits. No dumb waiter offering, no second floor mirror check, no careful hum down the stairs in case they led higher than they should. I'd abandoned my rounds entirely after the weird shit with the portraits. The thing in the blue uniform tilted its head slightly like it was considering me. Then it raised one gloved hand and tapped its wrist twice. I caught a glimpse of mummified brown flesh. There was no watch there, but I heard the ticking, as if it was only inches from my ear. I blinked, and it was closer. Another blink, and it was at the side of my bed. I whimpered in abject terror. "I'm sorry. I thought the rules were just a test." The thing in the blue uniform leaned forward. Its voice sounded like breaking bones and the creak of tomb doors. The next thing I knew, I was standing in the lobby of the courthouse. I was in the itchy brown uniform again. The sun had not yet risen. In my hand was a folded slip of paper covered in Comic Sans. I looked out the window. There was no moon in the sky. There was no sky. A swirling dark void lurked on the other side of the glass instead of the street I knew should be there.